In this video, I want to talk about something that is useful for every single business in the entire world, and that is data capture and data manipulation. Now, what do I mean when I say data capture and data manipulation? Well, every business in the world has some sort of interaction with their customers. They have some sort of touch point with their customers. This could be a newsletter. This could be signing up for a lead magnet. This could be submitting a quote for somebody to come do your landscaping. All these steps involve the customer or the lead filling out some sort of information, either about themselves or about their business or whatever the case may be. And then that information, that data, is then sent somewhere to a CRM or somewhere internal within the business to actually have a look and say, okay, this is how we're going to deal with this lead. This is how we're going to deal with this piece of data. And then from there, something happens, right? So that process is called the pipeline, the data pipeline. So what happens with the data from initial entry to actually coming into the business and then getting dealt with? So in this video, I'm going to build 3 make automations, each one getting slightly more complex and each one showing you a little bit more functionality and the possibilities of what you can do with a good data pipeline and good data manipulation. So if it's your first time building an automation, or you're a business owner that's like thinking there must be a better way to automate this or send this data here, you have found the right video. I promise you're going to learn a lot, and this will be from beginner to an experienced make user. All levels will benefit from this. So let's jump right into it. So it would be wrong to start this video without first taking a look at these metrics here. Now, this is staggering, to say the least. Like, this is absurd. So if you're asking yourself, why should I care about lead follow-up, automating this, as well as automating my data capture and streamlining my data pipeline? Why does this even matter? This is exactly why this matters. So the average lead response time is 47 hours, meaning from entry to the business actually engaging with that lead, 47 hours. Who's waiting that long, first of all? That's insane. 27% of leads get contacted at all. That seems a little low. I don't know if that's accurate. Fast responders win up to 50% of sales. Crazy. Calling after 30 minutes is 21 times less effective. This is my favorite one. This is the kicker. A 1 minute or less response time can lead to 391% more conversions. 391%. That is so staggering. That's absurd. And then this is one that kind of goes hand in hand with that. 82% of customers expect responses within 10 minutes. People want fast responses. And when they fill out a form on your website, when they contact you, when they want to work with you, the second they submit that form or make that decision, that is when they're most likely to buy. That's when it's top of mind for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken action in the first place. So if you can follow up and kind of ride that emotional wave from your prospect, you can actually have, just like this says, way more meaningful conversations and close 10 times more business. So this is why this video will change your life if you implement it. All right, boys and girls, here is the first scenario that we are going to be working on. This is going to be our most basic version of our lead capture. Now, I'm going to be using Tally as the form that we're going to submit to mimic the data capture. However, this could be with like any lead, like what are the common ones out there? Like Typeform. This could be with any of them, right? So just keep that in mind. They're all interchangeable. I'm just going to be using Tally for this one. So let's just delete this and let's build it from scratch. All right. You're going to want to search your module. Again, I'm just going to search Tally, right? But if you wanted to use Typeform, you can see there's a bunch of modules. Watch responses, same module, right? So you can use any form of data capture, whatever your business uses. Essentially, if it's a module in Make or it has an API, we can actually leverage it and we can automate it. So I'm going to go watch new responses. Now I'm going to need to create a hook so that Make can actually watch for submissions to the specific endpoint or form that we're looking for here. So I don't know if it's on here. YouTube lead follow-up tutorial. Yeah, it's the one I already made. Boom. Now for this extremely simple example, we're going to use Google Sheets as our CRM. Some of you may laugh at that and say that it's not a CRM, but it has grids and columns, so I'm going to say it's a CRM. Now, what we're going to be doing, there's a ton of modules within the Google Sheets one. Again, this could be Monday, ClickUp, Airtable, anything, extremely interchangeable, extremely customizable. We're going to go to add a row. Right on the bottom, we're just going to add a row. Now, you're going to want to establish a Google connection. Lots of tutorials on that. It's quite easy. And then we're going to go to the drive. Our spreadsheet ID is one that I previously made, and it's called lead follow-up right here. Just create any sheet. I just gave it some basic headings that correspond to my lead form right here. This is my form that I created within Tally. Name, email, phone, address for the job. Now, this was actually inspired by a client that I just started working with. He has a business that's been running for over 30 years, and they do maintenance on condos, stratas, houses, stuff like that. So he has a form that's like identical to this. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration. So what's the address for the job? Select the type of job, which is new construction, renovation, strata, and then any additional notes you think we should know. So just some basic info, pretty standard stuff that I'd say a fair percentage of businesses would care about when a new lead is coming into the system. So that corresponds to my headings within my Google Sheet right here. So if we head on over to make, I am going to choose that spreadsheet ID, which is lead follow-ups right here, and then just sheet 1. Cool. So then I'm going to just add in all of our fields from Tally into the fields in Google Sheets. So what is your name? I'm going to add this. Email, what's your email, phone, and these will all correspond to the answers that somebody inputs when they fill out the form. So just run through this. Job address, type of job. We're not going to use that one. We're going to actually want to select, because this is an array. If you hover over it, it should say type of array right there. We're just going to want to select this one right here, meaning the contents of the array, which is what we want to grab. And then additional notes, just toss in additional notes right there. So that's it. Make sure to save the scenario, this little button down here. So congratulations, you have just gotten over your fear of technology and created an automated system, which is fantastic. So if we run this, okay, make sure to save as always. So let's run this. Click run. You can see that spinning right there. That means it's waiting for data. Let's go to our lead form. Type in our name, John at Gmail, 344. Address for the job. We're going to go lead av. Type of job will be repair. Additional notes. This is urgent. So we have all the stuff. We filled it all out. Let's hit submit. Go back to make. So you can see that it has worked. It's accepted data. We have these beautiful little green check marks down here along with the ones up here. So you can see we have the form right here. If we click on this, we can kind of look through the data, the updated columns, what happened. And then if we actually go to our sheet, we can see all the stuff. So everything corresponds to the correct column. Everything makes sense. Type of job prepared, job address, lead av, phone, email, name. So it's everything we have. It's everything we need. And it's all in our sheet automatically, which is wonderful. Saves a little bit of time there. So that's step 1. We have our data. Let's move on to step 2, where we actually manipulate our data and kind of build out that pipeline a little bit more so we can make this a little bit more useful. The sun just started flying through the window. The clouds disappeared, but we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to build the lead. Oh, don't do that. The lead follow-up intermediate scenario. So yeah, very exciting. It's going to get a little fancier. It's going to get a little more functional. So let's start building it out now. So router here. So a router is essentially a conditional module. So if something happens, it will go to the top one. And then if the other thing happens that you define, it will go to the bottom one. And if you just leave it, it will actually run the top one first and then come back and then run the bottom one second. But we're actually going to, I lied. We're actually going to add the module here, the Google Sheets. And we're actually going to add a search rows function right here. So we're going to add a little bit more. So we're just going to click lead follow-ups, the exact same sheet that we did in the first one. So we're going to add a little more detail and a little more functionality, as I said, to make it just work a little better and be a little bit more logical. So we're going to handle the edge case in this one, where if someone has already filled out the form, if they're a pre-existing client or somebody that's a repeat customer, we don't want to add them back into our CRM. We just want to say, like, okay, yeah, they're repeat. We've dealt with them before. Cool. So we just want to know that. So that's what this is going to do here. So the search rows, we can do like if the email is equal to the what is your email field from here, because those need to match up. And then just by fluke, like, I mean, two people won't probably have the same email, of course, but we'll add an and rule right here where we can do like job address equal to job address. So we can have two checks, two confirmations to make sure that we're getting the correct stuff. And then that's the filter. And then the maximum number of return rows will just be 1. So we can do that. So in our list, we already have John and john@gmail.com. So this should return like that row if we input this form again with John and john@gmail.com. So let's actually just test this really quick. Wait for new data. I guess we could have actually just done that, like submitted that data, because it's probably all the same. So let's have a look what it returned here. So the number of returned rows is 1. Here's the filter. Now we have John at john@gmail.com, and that's equal. And then we also have the address. Okay, let's go back. So now we have something returned from this. So our output is John and john@gmail.com. And then we have the rest of the data as well. But we actually got an output because it matched our conditions, right? Because the email and the address were identical to the one that was already in our sheet. So that's really good. And then if they aren't identical, we'll actually get like nothing. Like our output bundle will just be 0 because it won't return anything. So that's good that we've tested that. We know that that works. So then that means we can do our first route right here. We can add a condition. Our filter, I should say, exists. So our condition, so we can do search rows. What could we do here? I guess we could do like row number equal to, or we could do like name in here, or email equal to email. That's probably fine. So then this will only go if the lead exists and it actually like is already in our database, which is what I just said. And then our second row here, let's just finish this first one. So if the lead exists, we are going to want to update the row. Now we're going to update the row with a brand new thing that we're actually going to add to the lead follow-ups. So let's do that real quick. Update a row. Sheet name, sheet 1. Row number is going to be the row number from our search rows, the same one that it returned. Okay, so we can leave that for now. Let's go back to here. So additional notes, and then we can say return customer right there. Let's just format it the same. Boom, center. Okay, so return customer is our new heading. So if we go to update a row, we're going to need to refresh this, although it is just G because it is in column G. So we can just actually go to G, even though it doesn't say return customer. And we can just go return customer true. Now that's perfect. We can just put that in there. Now you could probably get a little fancy and do something trickier, but we're just going to hard code true in right now. That'll be good for this version. So if the customer exists, if the email matches their previous email that they added to the form, aka it's their second or third or fourth or fifth time, then we're going to update the row, their row, to say true. Just giving the sales team or the person or the receptionist or whoever is looking at it an idea that they are a return customer, and maybe you would want to give a discount for that or whatever the case may be. So after we update the row, we are going to want to send them an email. So just look up email, find the email module, send an email. Now I'm going to establish I've already established a connection. Again, lots of tutorials on that. I feel like it's just outside the scope of this video a little bit, but just you want to establish a connection, connect to make with your email. If you have a Gmail, it takes like 5 seconds. 2, we're just going to add our email address right here. The subject line is going to be like welcome. We're going to want to do, it looks like you have inquired about, then select the job. Select the type of job. Remember, click on the arrow, select the one. Looks like you have inquired about Strata, ! And then the address for the job. If this is correct, reply yes to this email. Or I don't know, something like that. Team. Okay, so we've sent them an email if they exist. Round 2, hey, welcome back to our company, welcome back to our business. Thanks for doing continued business with us. Here's an email. Boom. So that happens the second they fill out the form. There's no delay time on that. Well, the delay time is the time it takes for this scenario to run, which is like 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds. So they're immediately getting an email and they're immediately getting involved in the system, which is exactly what we want. Now, if this fails, aka their email in our CRM isn't equal to the email that they've given in the form, aka they're a new customer, we are going to want to approach this slightly differently. So we are going to want to add a row, Google Sheets, add a row, which is exactly what we did in the first one. So we're going to update our CRM, add them to the CRM, so we have them in there, sheet name, and then again, we've done this already. This is exactly the same thing we did before. Name, email, phone, address, type of job, boom, additional notes, return customer. We're going to leave that blank, right? Because they aren't a return customer. So now we'll add them into our CRM with this one, and then we'll also send them an email. And our email is going to be fairly similar to our existing email if they are an existing customer. However, this one will be more of a welcome one. Subject, thank you for inquiring. And again, you can use HTML if you want. So I can say, write me some HTML in an email for business. So you can actually get HTML from ChatGPT, and it'll cook up some HTML that you can just copy and paste into your email and then actually add variables to, which is super, super cool. I'm going to say just use body tags, or not necessarily body tags, but like H1, H2, like P tag. Okay, that's better. Let's copy and paste that. So I just want to show you this. Again, this may be going a little bit above and beyond, but you can do this like, you know, this is fairly simple, right? So you can go, hello, name, Hello. Thank you for signing up for your business name. We're excited to have you. Your journey towards a beautiful home starts here. And then this isn't necessarily relating to like our form, like, but let's just change this. Your beautiful home starts here. About and then again, just put like the type of job. Our team will be in touch super soon. Something like that. Yeah, again, super easy. So that's gonna be our scenario. We've done it, we've completed it. Hopefully it wasn't too scary. So just as a quick summary for this scenario, we built the intermediate one. We have the tally form. We search the rows in the Google Sheet, aka our CRM, to see if that client, that person already exists. Then we head on over to the router. If the person does exist, the condition we set up will catch that, and then we'll update the row with the true for the return customer. Then we will send them an email saying, thank you for choosing us again, whatever it may be. And then if they do not exist, aka this is false, it will default to our second path here. It will add them to our CRM, and then it will send them a welcome email. And that all happens extremely fast. If you want that to wait a second and not happen so quick, you could actually set up a sleep right here on both of them, or actually just right here. You could add a module, tools, you could add a sleep. So like if you want to do 240 seconds, that's 4 minutes. These are seconds. It's between 1 and 300. So you could wait 4 minutes after they submit the form to actually send that in. So there's many different things you can do if you don't want it to go super fast. But that's going to be scenario number 2. A little more complex, a little more interesting, and a little bit more going on. So now let's move into scenario 3, the big boy scenario, and let's really elevate your business with this one. So congratulations, you've made it to the final boss of lead follow-up. Thank you for watching this far in the video. I appreciate it. And now let's get into like the actual insane big brain follow-up strategies that no one's using. And as you saw from the stats at the beginning of this video, will help you convert an insane % more clients for your business. So instead of just writing the emails blank and just kind of like hard coding it in, which is fine, better than nothing, 100%, we're actually going to use ChatGPT to write the emails for us. Prompt, boom, here's the prompt. You can read that if you want. Okay, you can pause the video, give you a sec to read that. Okay, done. Max tokens 0, which will just make it use however many tokens it needs to actually do the completion. And then you can just make a connection on OpenAI. You go to their website, you create an API key, you give them your money, and they'll give you amazing personalized emails, essentially. So this one is if they exist, which was reflected within my prompt. So run, use existing data, boom, since they exist, it's going to go up to here. Now let's see what GPT created. So GPT created message. So we'll tell it to not write a subject line. We can hard code the subject line in, or actually get GPT to write its own subject line. So we don't want a subject line. But other than that, dear prospect's name, I hope this email finds you well. I wanted to personally thank you for choosing us again. Like just like that. Your continued trust and support mean the world to us, and we're genuinely grateful for the opportunity to assist you once more. Yeah, fair enough. Decent. Yeah, personalized. It'll use their first name. It'll do all that kind of stuff. And again, if we want to use their first name, we can be like, their name is name, and they are returning to do repairs. They us these notes. So if we run this again with that extra data that I showed you, or sorry, that we like inputted in there. Oh, there's no more data in the pipeline. Let's just do this again quickly. we've submitted, and now GPT is actually running here. And let's see what we get when we added those personalized variables here. Welcome back, John. Dear John, I hope this email finds you well. Excuse me. I understand that the repairs are urgent, which is exactly what he said. And I want to assure you that we are prioritizing your needs. Our team will be in touch shortly with all the needs. I'll up your email, send an email, and then in the actual body of the email, the content, just add the result from ChatGPT right there. And you're off to the races. That's fantastic. You're done. Now, what I forgot to mention is that we're actually going to need a filter for this. So the label does not exist. So if we go in here, the condition, we'll just go name. John does not exist. John not equal to name. And this one, we did email equal to email. We could have done name equal to name, anything like that. So now it will not go down that bottom path, and it'll be all good to go. So we've added ChatGPT, right? Now what we can do is we can just do this, copy, paste down here, and then link that up, and then just change our prompt to here, email to a prospect that hasn't returned, right? So you're going to want to customize this and tailor this a lot more than I am right now. However, this is the general idea with this video. You just want to make sure that they feel supported and have all of the information that they need to continue working with you, and that they feel like they're being cared about, right? Now, the third one I want to do here is Bland is an incredible AI voice assistant. So it can actually call people in a human-like tone with a human-like cadence and talk to them as if it were a sales rep or somebody just checking in on them. So this is incredibly powerful. So we're going to go make an account. You got like $2 free. And then for the rest, it's like 2 cents a call. Like, it's extremely reasonable compared to like if you were paying an assistant to do this. It's going to be like probably 1,000 times cheaper. So we have this JavaScript. We're going to just use curl right here. It's always just like way easier. So our post is this. This is going to be what we are going to need to make a request to, this URL up at the top right here. So if we go back to make, this is our URL right here. And then our method is going to be a post. And how we know that is because it says post right there. Content type, application, JSON. I guess we can just go raw here, and then the content type, JSON. Okay, so we didn't need to copy paste it, but we do need to set that. And then our request content is going to be sorry, so we're actually going to need to add another header, which is our key right here. Add a header name. The name is authorization, and the value is going to be this lovely API key. If you steal my key, I will find you. So we're going to add another header, and the header is going to be in Bland right here. We're just going to need the content type. That's what the header's name is going to be. It's going to be content type. And then the value of that is going to be application/JSON right here. Now, sometimes you need this explicitly, sometimes you don't, but I always recommend just kind of putting that in there. Then with the phone number here, with the phone number field that we copied and pasted into our body, we actually need to use the toString variable, or sorry, function in here. So it's like somewhere in here, parse number, format number, should be in here, toString, here, toString. So it just converts any value to a string. Bland requires the phone number to be an explicit string. And then from there, we can just drop in, like within our 2 parentheses right here, we can just drop in the phone number. Boom, phone number right here. So now it'll call this number, right? Your task in this task field we can just put like welcome them and then say how happy we are to have them. You can change the voice, you can change all these kind of stuff. But this is going to be the basic version of it. So if we do that, this video is already too long, so I'm not going to show you, but just trust me that if we run this, it will, if they exist, it will update the row with return customer, send them an email right away, boom, just followed up with them, right? And remember the metrics we looked at, so just this alone is going to increase conversions. But then if they don't exist in our platform, they are going to be added. ChatGPT is going to write them a personalized welcome email, and then it will send that email. And then on top of that, we can add a module here. Actually, the module will be a sleep module. So then this is where you would actually use a sleep. So 4 minutes, 240 seconds. So then once it sent them the email, 4 minutes later, it's actually going to call them. And you can get super creative with this system. I'm just showing you the tip of the iceberg to get the ideas flowing and to get you excited about what automation can do, because this is so simple. Guys, I need you to get that through your head. This is something that every business should have and that every business can have extremely easily. So this system is so cool. And that's going to be the end of the video. I'm going to probably shave a bit of this out. It was a long video. Thank you for sticking around with me. I appreciate you. I love all of you. Thank you for watching my content. And I hope you learned something from this video. I'd say the key takeaway from this is that follow-up time is the most important thing when you're starting a business, whether that be just doing outreach in general or following up 30 times with a prospect you really want to work with, or following up like this scenario demonstrates in under a minute. And how many times, 300 and something times % increased conversion rates for that client. Just keep that in mind, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.